This is one of the few 19th century portraits to realistically portray an enslaved person, and for over 100 years, it was meticulously covered up and ignored. This history might have never been uncovered if it weren't for Jeremy Simeon. In this video, I will recreate the faces of this portrait to see how each of the children might have looked in real life. So if you're new to my channel, welcome. Here on Mortal Faces, I bring the faces of the past to life and also untangle family trees. Lots more on my channel. Thank you for watching, subscribe for more historic recreations, and let me know in the comments who you want to see in real life. For the history of Black Americans, the history that survives is incredibly important because there are so few artifacts that remain. Jeremy stumbled upon the painting at an auction record and thought it looked similar to another work of art by artist Jacques Amans. Then he found another image from a few years prior, but in that image the boy was missing. He was clearly erased. The story is simple. As a favorite slave to the white children, he was painted in, but then, for whatever reason, sometime later he was painted out. The portrait was inherited by Eugene Grasser, a relative of the white children in the painting, and was inherited by his mother, Audrey. She kept it in the garage for decades, but in 1972, she donated the painting to the New Orleans Museum of Art, where they again stored it away, despite her tellings of a mysterious fourth figure, and alas, it sat for 32 years until 2004. It was never displayed for the reason of not being in exhibitable condition.
When it came in, it was not in exhibitable condition.
As a museum works, they receive many more objects than their physical space allows to display. So in order to generate some money, some of their artifacts not on priority lists get deaccessioned and auctioned off. And this was when a private antique dealer acquired the painting for $6,000 and had it restored. The missing figure was revealed. He was wearing a white collared shirt and a cream mid-thigh-length jacket. Jeremy bought the painting in 2021 and brought it back to Louisiana and hired an historian, Katie Shannon, to find out who the missing boy was. Through the Grasser family history, an ancestor wealthy enough to commission such a portrait was Marie-Céleste Coralie Dunois Frey, born in 1807 and died in 1895, aged 87 years old. She came from a very wealthy family. Her great-grandfather was appointed treasurer and king's commissioner in the colony of Louisiana, and his father was the treasurer to King Louis XIV and XV. In an 1830 census, there was only one boy slave between the ages of 10 and 24 living in her household. It was a mixed-race boy, clearly a domestic. His name was Bélizaire, and he was sold with his mother Sally in 1828 into the Frey household in the French Quarter. He would have been about 6 years old. Frederick Frey, 1797 to 1851, was a merchant and a banker, and had Bélizaire accompany him on many of his voyages. So he was very much a personal servant and perhaps took care of the Frey children in some capacity. He was high up in domestic social status and close to the head of the family, clearly a favorite to Frederick Frey. In this painting, Bélizaire would have been about 15 years old in this portrait in 1837. The eldest daughter is 9-year-old Elizabeth. She died the same year. In the pink is 4-year-old Leontine, who also died the same year, most likely from sickness that Elizabeth had, and the boy is 5-year-old Frederick, who died in 1846. He would have been 14. There was one more infant Frey child Carolee gave birth to, however, died the same year in 1831 and is not depicted. It's a symbol of truth that is on edge. Here lies a young man who is seemingly valued by the family, yet could be sold at any time for any reason. And that reality came shortly after Frederick Frey died. Carolee sold Bélizaire to Evergreen Plantation on Christmas Eve in 1856. He would have been 34 years old, and sometime after that, he was painted out. Documents show Bélizaire lived in Evergreen until the Civil War began in 1861, and after that, it is a mystery. Did he survive long enough to experience freedom? That is something we may never know because the trail stops here. However, we do know his name and his journey which is incredible in itself. And that brings us to the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I have a lot more historic recreations on my channel. Subscribe for more recreations. Each of your subscriptions will help this channel grow. It allows me to continue making more content for you. Let me know in the comments who you want to see next. I do make a list of all your suggestions, and I will see you in the next one.